Try not to get too distracted by Paulina Gretzky while I tell you of this tale of a brand new virus that has hit the western shore, and we're not too sure how to deal with it. I don't know if lockdowns are maybe the best thing to do, but oh no, shit, we're actually here November 13th, and the World Health Organization has even said that lockdowns are a bad idea, but places all over, well, the United States and our stupid fucking leader up here in Canada is even joining in on this. And you guys in a couple of weeks' time have Thanksgiving, and fuck, your top doctor is even here saying people need to do what you're told. Yes, that is the future we all get to look forward to. Before we dive into, I got Chicago's and California at large's, all of their precautions, as it were, the nicest way that I could put it, up here for everybody to just review. And this here today was just absolutely disgusting to read. Dr. Anthony, I know, I'm sorry for having to get rid of that picture. Dr. Anthony Fauci has some new coronavirus guidance. Do what you're told. Well, there we go. God, I'm just so glad he's here. In an interview Thursday, the coronavirus task force member and an infectious disease expert pushed back on the notion that scientists were authoritarian for promoting strict lockdowns and social distancing measures. But the 79-year-old suggested the American spirit of independence has gotten in the way, and the nation needed to follow their orders, whether they liked it or not. Hilarious. I was talking to my UK colleagues who were saying the UK isn't similar to where we are now because each of their countries have their own independent spirit. Don't you just love it when globalists get together and talk about things? Doesn't that just warm the cockles of your heart? I can understand that, but now is the time to do what you're told. This is something that a appointed official, not somebody who was elected, is telling the public to do. Just do what you're told. And like I've said countless times, if it was up to doctors, you would just literally be walking around in a fucking plastic ball at all times. Their job is to keep people healthy, not to weigh the analysis between what is best for the economy, what is best for society, and what is best for the individual. That is a wide scope of things, and it totally depends on that singular individual and can't be broadly applied to everybody. But when you only have a scope of, let's look at this one thing and we need to address only this one thing, then you can start applying all of your fucking goofy logic. And especially when somebody's put under a significant amount of stress, their true intentions of how they like to assess all sorts of risk come up to the surface. So the fact that he's just flat out saying, no, just do as you're told instead of just, thinking for yourself. Yeah, not shocked. That's why Joe Biden early on said that he wouldn't get rid of Anthony Fauci, because he's kind of fitting in nicely into that whole coronavirus task force that he's putting together, which we reviewed a few days ago. The longtime director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases has repeatedly clashed with President Trump and his administration. Yes, do you like freedom or do you not? That is fairly easy to figure out which side you fall on. And as it says here, President Trump has dismissed him sometimes as being a bit of an alarmist amid the pandemic. Well, he might be an alarmist, but if we get Joe Biden, he's going to be the most important doctor in, to be completely honest, the entire world. Let's be completely fair when it comes to this, because when America goes into lockdown, and you bet your fucking ass they will, everybody else is just going to follow suit. No, okay, you might be thinking, what, the federal government only has mandates over federal land, and, your state's rights, and your local government has a lot more say in your day-to-day activities. Well, let's get a little bit more granular. First, we'll go to a state level. Right here on the California Department of Public Health, you've probably seen this ad nauseum right now. It's been out for a little bit, but I just wanted to make sure that the severity of this is properly nailed home. Like I said earlier, in a couple weeks' time, 2 weeks' time, in fact, day less. 2 weeks from now, we won't get those awesome stories of Black Friday when people just get run over and mauled for cheap televisions and whatever the kids are playing with these days when it comes to toys. I don't know. People still like Furbies. This is handed down from Emperor Newsom. The attendance for your Thanksgiving meal Gatherings that include no more than 3 households are prohibited. That includes the one household that is hosting the celebration. Keep the household that you interact with stable over time. By spending time with the same people, risk of transmission is reduced. That's retarded. That's just not how things work. People are individuals, and you're supposed to have what? 1 designated shopper? Is that still a thing? I don't know. And then that person goes out, and then they'd come back, and potentially, because the virus is everywhere, it literally hangs out in dark alleyways just waiting to attach itself to you. I don't know. We're under the assumption that everybody's carrying this fucking thing at all times. So it really doesn't much matter if you're in constant contact with the same people, because you see different people on a daily basis. So that seems a little stupid, but what do I know? I'm not a doctor. And you're supposed to gather outdoors. Now, in California, that's not such a big deal, but do you think anybody in fucking Albany in 2 weeks' time is going to be having their dinners outside? Do you think folks in Montana really want to be, I'm sure it's probably beautiful this time of year. Up here in Grand Prairie, Alberta, you don't really have any more than 2 seasons. You have winter and you have a few months of summer. Right now, we're, a month deep. If you see my pinned Twitter video, we've had snow on the ground since the 20th or 19th of October. So yeah, we're in for 7 months of winter. We get winter and then it just immediately goes right into summer. There's no 4 seasons here around here. So yeah, you're pretty much I understand that this mandate is supposed to be just for California, but if you want to extrapolate this out, which most authoritarian dictators, I haven't seen anything of what stupid Gretchen Whitmer's putting out there. Maybe she's plotting her next plan to be kidnapped. I don't know. That bitch has been awfully fucking quiet lately, and it's kind of creeping me out, to be completely honest. She's probably just making sure all of those ballots are properly in place when that audit comes through. So yeah, these gathering outdoors in attendance is pretty stupid, but it gets even worse from there. Obviously, don't attend gatherings if you feel sick or you're in a high-risk group. Duh. Okay, do these elites really think that these people have huge fucking backyards or huge fucking tables? Seating, okay, under the practice physical distancing and hand hygiene, whatever. Seating must provide at least 6 feet of distance in all directions between different households. Fucking banquet tables, apparently. Shared items should not be used during a gathering. What is the point? Is everybody just supposed to have their own tent and you guys are just supposed to... Oh, but we'll get to that. You can't yell across to your other tent, so you're just supposed to hold up signs. Is everybody just going to play Pictionary in the backyard? Perhaps. Wear a face covering to keep COVID-19 from spreading. When gathering, face coverings must be worn in accordance with California Department of Public Health. People at gatherings may remove their face coverings briefly to eat or drink, as long as they stay 6 feet away from everyone else. So even when you're in your own household, you have within the boundaries of your own household, because you're not supposed to intermingle, because segregation is fun. Yeah, you're still supposed to keep your face mask on. That's ridiculous. And put their face covering back on as soon as they are done with the activity. Face coverings can also be removed to meet urgent medical needs. Oh, okay, good. So you don't have to perform CPR through 2 fucking cloth masks. Thank God. I'm glad Imperial Leader Newsom cleared that up for us. But yeah, reading between the lines on that, after you are done eating or drinking, consuming as much as you can, you're supposed to put your mask back up in between bites and sips, by the way. Keep it short. Gathering should be 2 hours or less. The longer the duration, the risk of the transmission increases. Even though you're supposed to be able to transmit the disease within 15 minutes, if you keep it under 2 hours, that's supposed to make it better? I don't get it. It's like you guys are just throwing darts, and wherever the dart lands, that's the policy that you throw up on this one. Rules for singing, chanting, and shouting at outdoor gatherings. Like I said before, when have you ever had a massive family gathering? Just think back to your past, even in your childhood. When has it ever gone smoothly enough where nobody has been yelling? I cannot think of a single occasion where there hasn't been any yelling. But these are fucking hilarious. Honestly, I can see people following these, okay? I know enough stupid people out there who would literally post this up on their front wall or hang it next to Sally's fucking B+ that you got on her math test and put it up on the fridge there. Or even some lonely, spiteful old hag at the end of the block who sees a couple more vehicles in the driveway or across the street than there should be. and calling the cops on that. So I could see something coming out of this. I don't think that those are going to be numerous, but I could see a bunch of people just ratting everyone out. Now, these are all guidelines. You know, you're supposed to be doing this stuff, but how about somebody who's a little bit more authoritarian? How about somebody that we've covered specifically? Well, and to get very, very specifically, the first video that was ever on this channel. How about Chicago's lockdown orders canceling Thanksgiving? Draws pushback. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot faced intense backlash Thursday on her recent round of lockdown orders, which came days after she joined a large crowd celebrating Joe Biden's election victory. Rules for thee and not for me. Amid national spikes of coronavirus cases, and nobody's dying, by the way, the Windy City's top Democrat announced a 30-day stay-at-home advisory that will take effect Monday. Remember when we all figured out that lockdowns aren't good for the economy and will cause more deaths because of depression and alcoholism and different economic strifes? But who gives a shit, because we need to slow the virus, goddammit. Won't you please think of Grandma? You're gonna kill her. The advisory calls on all Chicagoans, poor fools, to do the following: stay home unless for essential reasons. Stop having guests over, including family members you do not live with. Avoid non-essential travel. Cancel traditional Thanksgiving plans. Lori Lightfoot summarized on Twitter. Yeah, it literally read exactly like that. That is a verbatim. It was more itemized as a list, and you can find that tweet out there, but it just, enough with Twitter journalism. It makes me sick. Especially when we have a fine write-up on a great site like Fox News. Ugh. The order suggests Lightfoot has been taking the coronavirus outbreak seriously, but just last Saturday, she was seen maskless while touting the projected victory of presumed President-elect Biden in a video she shared on her Twitter account. So she is... I always struggle to say worst mayor because I know Ted Wheeler is out there, but my God, she is just the scariest little despot. I don't have any pictures up here because she really freaks me out. And it would be just such a stark contrast between her and then that little picture we had there at the beginning. So I would just want to have a nice, fun and cheery video here because boy, is it disgusting. And I hate all of these lockdowns, and it's not specific to the United States. Oh boy, of course not. Speaking of talentless fruits, Trudeau says Canadians may not be able to gather during holidays due to COVID. Of course not. Prime Minister Yuck addressed the media on Friday, providing updates to the federal response to the COVID-19 pandemic, which he will use because you should never, ever let a tragedy go to waste. The Prime Minister also provided some insight to whether or not Canadians would be able to celebrate a normal Christmas. You know, when I broke down the UK lockdown and I said that, they'd be going into a lockdown for a month, and I said, just wait for the guidelines when it follows for Christmas. What we got here is a Commonwealth of the British Empire already looking at what the fuck to happen with Christmas. So, because our Thanksgiving already passed and we already had stupid restrictions placed on us for that, they're just going whole hog and they're just going to go through the end of the year. So it's just more stupidity here. Just a lot of Thanksgiving. Just don't worry about Christmas. You guys can sit socially distanced apart. Provinces need to make the right decisions in bringing in rules that will limit close contact, limit the spread of shut up. Okay, enough of this shit. I am so sick and tired of this. If you guys are going to be celebrating Thanksgiving within the next couple of weeks, you know what? If you're scared, be safe about it. But if you want to meet with your families, just fucking do it, okay? Think for yourself. Do what's best for you and your family. And if you are concerned, talk to your doctor. Don't be listening to these assholes that haven't practiced medicine in the past fucking few decades, like Fauci. Or some little Beetlejuice character like fucking Lori Lightfoot. Or some used car salesman like Gavin Newsom. And especially don't be listening to anything that fucking drama teacher Justin Trudeau has to say, because they are all full of shit. They just don't want to be responsible for any deaths, and that's the only reason why they're putting all of these fucking lockdown procedures at hand. But that's just my opinion on this, so Hope you guys enjoy Thanksgiving if you have it coming up, or just look forward to Christmas and celebrate it with those you love and those you care about. Tell them to shove their fucking tyrannical rules straight up their ass. Thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.